Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video on another dead Walking Dead character. This one will be on the whispering, leading, character beheading, bald heading, sporting, real name abandoning, child abusing Alpha. And I'm sorry that this video is super late, but it just took me a while to write the script. Alpha is of course female. She is played by the amazing Samantha Morton. She is late 30s to early 40s and first appeared in Adaptation. Mother to Lydia, wife to Frank, and lover to Negan. Before the outbreak, not tons is known about Alpha. She lived with her husband Frank, and the two eventually had a daughter named Lydia. The trio likely lived in Maryland. She was obviously an abusive mother, once slapping Lydia for nearly suffocating in a plastic tarp. After the outbreak, Alpha, Lydia, and Frank held up in a basement with a group of other survivors. She wanted to leave, but Frank told her not to. She cut her hair, and after 43 days, the undead began to gather outside the building. Matthias panicked and tried to leave, and Alpha killed him, stopping him from endangering everyone else. Matthias turns and attacks the group as a walker. Alpha tried to leave with her family, but Frank tried to help everyone else. Alpha then murders her husband to stop him from helping. Alpha watched many communities rise and fall through her time, and eventually convinced Lydia that Frank was the one who abused her, and lied to the girl as she grew up. Alpha and Lydia walked and lived on their own, using walker guts to walk among the dead. One day Lydia screamed as a dying woman was being attacked by zombies. This caused zombies to be alerted to them, and the two ran to a hospital and encountered an alone man. He allowed the pair to stay one night. Alpha bonds with the man somewhat, but he still doesn't trust her. When Lydia goes missing, Alpha enters his part of the building to find her. The man gets mad with her because she killed his zombie friend, but she calms him down by suggesting he wears his friend's shirt and face as a mask. Thus, the Whisperers are born, and so is Beta. Eventually, this new trio created a group called the Whisperers, who would wear masks that was made of zombie skin. During the years, Alpha continued her abuse and took leadership over the group, naming herself, of course, Alpha. In Season 9, Alpha enters the scene.
Trail ends here.
She holds Alden and Luke hostage. Later, she marches to the hilltop, asking for her daughter Lydia back. Daryl and the others ask about Luke and Alden, and Alpha instructs a leader to speak to her. Daryl steps forward and speaks to her, and then soon Francis's baby begins to cry, and Alpha gives her a look. Francis abandons her, and Alpha seems not to care. Alpha then watches Connie and the others save the baby, and later Alpha trades both Alden and Luke for Lydia, and she slaps Lydia right across the face. She leaves, and Alpha questions Lydia about what she learned, and Lydia lies to her. Alpha is presented Henry by Beta, and Alpha questions him and watches Lydia punch him in the face. The group relocate, and Alpha tells Beta to make a new mask for Lydia and questions her about Henry. Alpha is approached by Sean and Helen, who argue that Alpha is changing the rules. Alpha then kills the two right in front of Henry. Alpha and Beta discuss Lydia, and Beta says that they need to be ready when the Hilltop folks come for Henry. At night, Alpha forces Lydia to kill Henry, but she can't quite do it. Then suddenly a herd of walkers come, and Henry and Lydia make their escape. Alpha ambushes Hilda and Miles' caravan and kills them. She skins Hilda's face and wears her face as a new mask. Alpha in disguise then enters the Kingdom's Fair and analyzes the booths. She talks to Ezekiel and slowly begins to kidnap several victims. Or more than several, I guess. She sits next to Lydia in the cinema and takes her outside. Lydia tells her mother that she hates her, and Alpha eventually leaves with her kidnapped survivors. This includes Henry, Enid, Tara, Tammy Rose, Frankie, Rodney, Addie, and Sadiq. She takes them into a barn, but soon DJ, Ozzy, and Alec find them and try to save them. Alpha and her group manage to recapture everyone, and then Alpha one by one beheads the survivors in front of Sadiq, including DJ, Ozzy, and Alec. Alpha decides to keep Sadiq alive and knocks him out and ties him to a tree. She places the beheaded heads on pikes and meets with Daryl and co. She forces them to drop their guns and establishes her borders. She shows Daryl her horde of walkers and tells him to go to the border. Later, Alpha cries by her own. A whisperer notices notices her crying, and she kills him for seeing her weakness. During a blizzard, Alpha and her group move to a warmer location, and then after the blizzard dies down, Alpha has Beta whip her to make her stronger. In between Season 9 and Season 10, Alpha sends Dante to go to Alexandria, taking spy notes from him to track her enemy. And in Season 10, Alpha appears in Sadiq's hallucinations, but in the real world, Alpha talks to Beta about their enemies and tells him to gather more walkers. She instructs him to take the sisters, Francis and Mary. Alpha watches Beta demand Francis to be killed, and Alpha tells him not to question her. She takes Francis into a tent and squeezes her head, but allows the girl to live. Alpha leads walkers for a field, a satellite comes crashing down, and Francis jumps onto Alpha's back, trying to attract walkers to kill her. Mary throws Francis off Alpha, and Mary watches her own sister be killed. Later, Alpha awards Mary the title of Gamma. Beta finds a shrine that Alpha has made to Lydia. She breaks down and destroys the shrine and wanders off to see Carol standing on a cliff, and the two stare off. Alpha sends Gamma to gather Daryl and Co for a meeting. At the meeting, Alpha reveals that she knows about the times they crossed the border and reveals they need to be punished. Carol speaks out, and Alpha says that Henry screamed Carol's name before he died. Carol goes then to shoot Alpha, but Daryl stops her. Michonne calms down everything, and Alpha says that she forgives Carol, mother to mother. Then she tells the group to run as the borders are changing. Alpha is informed by Beta about a captured Negan who was trespassing. She argues that they should test Negan, but he objects, and then Alpha asks Beta where his place is, and he kneels for her. Later, Alpha has Negan walk with Beta among the dead. Later, Beta returns saying that Negan has failed, but then Negan walks out onto the scene and submits to Alpha. Alpha appears in more of Sadiq's hallucination, but in the real world, Alpha watches Gamma kill a walker. Alpha whips Gamma for her being weak and tells her to continue getting information from Aaron. Alpha changes her horde's location to a cave for some weird reason and lures in a group of survivors, including Daryl and Carol. They are trapped within the horde in the cave. Alpha watches from the top of the cave and smiles, and Carol screams, and then she tells the Whisperers not to let them escape. Alpha informs her group about the trapped people and tells Gamma to carry a message. Alpha takes a shit, and then Negan arrives. Negan tells her that he thinks Gamma is a traitor. Alpha holds a knife to his dick and then pushes him into her shit. Classic. Alpha, though, asks Beta to find Gamma, but he informs her that she never returned. She tells Beta to retrieve Gamma so she can kill her in front of the pack, as she kind of knows now that she's a traitor. Alpha thanks Negan and takes him deep into the forest. She tells him to turn around and strip. Negan, thinking that she is going to kill him, begs by telling her about his story, but when he turns around, Alpha stands naked before him. The two then get jiggy with it. Alpha escorts her walkers out of the cave and Daryl attacks her. The two fight. Daryl impales her shoulder and Alpha stabs him in the leg. They flee, but Alpha finds Daryl at a gas station that both of them are at, I guess. Both of them are bloody and injured. She talks about Lydia, and Alpha attracts some walkers with the hope that they'll kill Daryl, but he manages to fight them off. Alpha and Daryl both soon pass out, and later Alpha awakes to see Lydia, but faints again. Later, she wakes up to see "Your way is not the only way" carved into a workbench. Alpha is found by her group, and her wounds are treated. Alpha then gets Negan to whip her and chants her Whisperer anthem as Negan marches beside her to the hilltop wearing his new mask. In the woods, Negan proposes that they get the group to surrender, but clearly she has other plans. The group find 2 hilltop members and kill them, and then launch their attack on the hilltop. As their guardians pile upon the hilltop, and some Whisperers fire tree sap, Alpha and Negan begin to fire flaming arrows at the group of survivors. The battle rages on, and the hilltop residents flee. In the morning, Alpha criticizes Negan for killing a dying man. Negan then promises to look for Lydia. Later, Negan reveals to Alpha that he has found and captured Lydia. Alpha goes to the location ready to kill her. Negan tries to convince her to rethink, but she's determined with her plan. Alpha approaches the cabin slowly. She opens it and sees nothing. No Lydia. She turns to Negan confused, and this happens. Alpha bleeds out. Negan kisses her before she dies in his arms. Negan beheads her and throws her head to Carol's feet. Carol places it on a spike, and then Beta soon finds it. When Rufus implies Beta is now the new Alpha, Beta forces Alpha's head to bite Rufus. Beta holds Alpha until he finds a hotel. He cradles her head, plays some of his old music, and he looks just defeated. He then slowly kills her reanimated zombie head. Now with a repurpose, Beta skins Alpha's head and wears part of her face as his new mask. Creepy as fuck, am I right? Alpha also appears in Carol's hallucinations, but that's technically not canon. Okay, this was a long video, but honestly I wanted to do this character justice and go through all of her major story moments. This may be kind of controversial, but I honestly think that Alpha is the best TV Walking Dead villain there is. I know people love Negan and the Governor, but something about Alpha got me really excited. Her twisted worldview, her ruthlessness, her sheer will and determination. I mean, she is a scary woman, and honestly I think Samantha Morton played the character so goddamn well, possibly one of the best actors on the show. I mean, I honestly think she looks scarier with her mask off than on. I know it played out similar in the comics, but I don't know, I kind of disliked Negan killing Alpha in the show. I think the kill should have gone to Lydia, but it wasn't a terrible thing. It played out fine. I love this character, and it's a shame to see her go, but I guess she had to go before she got overused and kind of lame. But hey, she lives on through Beta. Anyway guys, tell me your thoughts on Alpha. I mean, I loved her, as I expressed in this video. This is the longest character profile I've done so far, and it's only for a character that was really in a season and a half. But I just think I needed to really do her justice. So like I said, tell me your thoughts, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.